staying around. Another brilliant heavyweight fight at Wembley Stadium tonight. Anthony Joshua retaining his IBO, IBF, WBA and WBO World Heavyweight titles in a brilliant fight against Alexander Povetkin. Povetkin, an incredible fighter. We knew number 3 in the Ring magazine. And when you look at the resume now of Anthony Joshua after 22 fights, he's quite incredible. TKO win over Alexander Povetkin, TKO win over Vladimir Klitschko, TKO win over Carlos Takam, TKO win over Dillian White, TKO win over Brazil. Points win to unify the belt after Parker. And incredibly proud of this man for a performance that had so much pressure on to get the victory today. And I'm going to pass it over to the floor for questions for everybody up there.
AJ, you must have been a bit worried after a couple of rounds there. That was looking like a very tough engagement.
Yeah, for sure. At this level it would be, right? It's never going to be easy. If it ain't about their talent, because they got a chance at capturing these belts, it goes down to their heart. So it may have took 7 rounds, it may have took 10 rounds, and it might have won 12 rounds. But ultimately, I'll always end up victorious because I think I've got a bit deeper depth and I know how to dig deep. Povetkin's a tough challenger for sure, but I knew how to break him down. I wasn't looking for the knockout, but the instinct told me he was hurt, and I knew how to follow up and I knew it was time to get him out of there.
How badly hurt was your nose? Was it broken?
No, they checked it. Due to what Takam done, I think it's softened up a bit, you know what I mean? But it wasn't a headbutt, it wasn't an elbow, it was a good left hook. I stood there a bit too long, and it shows the heavyweight division, these guys, at their age, the last thing they lose is power. So he followed through with a heavy shot, bust my nose early on. But it's a nice way to wake up and realise that you're in a tough fight.
AJ, you talked about learning how much you could take when you're in training and sparring. Like, how much did you take from Povetkin tonight? How did it feel like getting them over hand right?
My face ain't too bust up, except for the nose. Like there's no cuts, no black eyes. You know, I'm not going to boost my own ego, but I can take a lot. There's no doubt about that. But at heavyweight, you know, all it takes is one wrong punch and it can change the course of a fight, and that's what makes it so interesting. So I try to ride the shots. Sometimes I want to wait there and counter punch, but it's a shot that you wait for. You may wait for the right hand, but the left hook may hit you as well. And it can change the course of a fight. So I didn't really take too much because I was keeping it long. I'm a taller, ranger fighter, so I've got to work to my attributes and keep him at distance rather than engage with him. But for sure, he knows how to punch. He's a strong guy, and if he wants to keep on fighting, he can definitely give a few other heavyweights some good.
And he was definitely looking for that left hook, wasn't he? He was definitely coming
left, right, and uppercut.
Yeah.
Mike Hoppinger, Ring Magazine. Hey, congrats on the victory. Is it exciting for you now that with Fury and Wilder fighting each other December 1st, and you're going to have a clear-cut challenger that everyone's going to want to see? It's going to be a massive event for you, possibly in April. Yeah,
good luck to them both. I've always said it. Boxing needs it. You know, they've been professional 9 years. I've been pro 5. I've bear the burden of the heavyweight division on my back for some years because it was all about me fighting Wilder, fighting Fury, fighting Klitschko, fighting Dillian, fighting Povetkin. That's all they was interested in, me fighting them all. And I'll always knock them down one by one, but people have to be patient. So I'm happy that them two are fighting. Good luck to both of them. And I said it in the ring, April 13th is booked. But whoever wants to step up and take the challenge, I'm always willing to fight. This is what I do for a living. So whichever heavyweight is serious can get on the phone to Eddie and we can look at making the deal.
What's your best hope for the outcome December 1st in terms of both who might win and maybe the manner? It's exciting and so forth.
You know, man, I never really watch anyone else. I'm not too fussed who wins. The sport is big in itself, so even a loser can go on and do well. Parker lost and had a great fight with Dillian, so there's room for the loser. Povetkin can go on and do great things as well. And there's room for the winner. So whoever's serious is always welcome. So I have no interest in who wins, and I'm not really swaying to Wilder or Fury. I'm not fussed.
Go ask Eddie, which of the two would be the easier to make?
Well, presumably Fury will have a rematch call, or Wilder will have a rematch call.
Yeah.
So, obviously being British, we'd like to see Tyson Fury win that fight, but in terms of April, Deontay Wilder must win that fight if that's going to happen. We're not willing to wait until December we can wait till December to see, but a deal must be done well in advance of that, subject to winning that bout. You know, I think that, like AJ said, the Wilder fight now, you know, we've been back and forward with various stuff, and you know, the offer that was made to us, which had no real substance, and they were scrapping around trying to find people to put money together and broadcasters to put money together, will look like absolute peanuts when this fight is made. So, but you have to keep winning, and that's why there was so much pressure tonight. It's all very well saying this fight gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but what if someone loses? It's like Mayweather-Pacquiao. You know, that happened too late, but one defeat to Povetkin tonight, and everyone would have said, oh, you two are idiots, because you didn't take that fight. And that was the pressure tonight. But now, after 80,000, and after the worldwide exposure, and after the finish, and after the resume improves, that offer will look like peanuts when this fight is made. And we would have made it tonight, and we will make it in April again. But in terms of who do I want to win that fight for AJ, it's Deontay Wilder, because that is the biggest fight in world boxing. And Fury Wilder is a really good fight to find out who the second best heavyweight is in the world.
AJ, is it Wilder that you want in April?
Yeah. We've been trying to negotiate with their team after attacking the fight. And I had to fight Parker, carried on negotiating, and that's fight with mandatory. I don't want to wait till December for him to finish his fight, have his rest, and then start negotiating, because I'll start training for a fight again early Jan. So I want to kind of get my fight penciled in as soon as possible this side of the year, so I know what I'm doing next year. Because it seems that those negotiations take a long time. But as I said, there's a lot of room for all of these heavyweights. They're all talented, they all can fight. Povetkin wasn't a champion, but he came, we conquered, but he definitely came game, and people were entertained. So if Wilder's not serious, there's other people out there. When he's ready, we're ready.
Eddie, you said that, you know, the fight between Wilder and Fury will look like peanuts compared to...
No, I said the offer.
Until the offer.
Yeah.
How big a fight would Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, or even Tyson Fury, but maybe Deontay Wilder, be at Wembley? And would it be the biggest fight we've ever seen in the UK?
It could be one of the biggest fights in all-time boxing history. It'd definitely be the biggest fight in British boxing history, because we've just had one against Vladimir Klitschko. That was the biggest fight in British boxing history, unquestionably, and the most exciting. This one will eclipse that. You know, we don't rule out a fight in America at some point as well. We know the money over there. You know, we're involved with some serious players in terms of the zone over there who, you know, will want to back that fight as well, here or there. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But I do believe that we're only scratching the surface of how big Wilder Joshua could be. But we also live in an age where fans want everything now, and we also live in a heavyweight division where someone could lose. Not this man, but someone else could lose. So we want that fight now. He wants to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
But presumably, if you sign the fight for Wilder has, or is having, we understand, another fight first, isn't he?
Yeah, that's irrelevant. It's subject to winning. I mean, obviously, if he loses, we're not fighting at Wilder in. But what we're saying is, we map out our future. There's never been any disruption to the career of Anthony Joshua. Everything has been absolute, solid, step by step. We're not waiting for time wasters. What we're saying is, we'll negotiate the fight now. If you lose, we understand we have to find another opponent. But if you win, we're not waiting until December. These aren't negotiations that are going to take 24 hours. So I'm not having the career of Anthony Joshua slowed down by people slow playing a deal. If they want the deal, and we've opened talks now with Shelley Finkel as well, we can make it happen for April. You go and have your fight, you go and win, but subject to you winning, and we'll have someone else in place in April as well. But we're not going to waste our time, we're going to progress the career, but note the resume of the people he's fighting while we're supposedly waiting. He's not just boxing off easy competition, he's fighting the very best in the world. Number 2 wasn't available. We couldn't make that deal. He boxed number 3. And guess what? When he boxed Josie Parker, he was number 3 in the ring magazine. So what more has he got to do?
Presumably, though, you'll negotiate with Fury as well, because otherwise...
No, because he'll have a rematch clause.
Okay.
So you know, if Fury wins, good luck to him. It's not really what we want, because we want to fight Wilder. So, but again, we get the negotiations done, we get a deal in place for April, subject to victory. And if they don't want to do that, then we fight someone else in April. And then we box again in November, December. He's not going anywhere. He's had 22 fights. These heavyweights calling him out, even ex-heavyweights, criticising Anthony Joshua. Where were they after 22 fights? Did they have a resume like him? Absolutely not.
Eddie, I know you obviously want Wilder to win because it's clear that there'll be a rematch clause since it's a voluntary, like you said. But rematch clauses aside, would you still rather see Wilder than Fury?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't want to be disrespectful, but Tyson Fury is the most unentertaining fighter I've ever seen. He's never been in a good fight in his whole career, apart from Cunningham where he got knocked down. Deontay Wilder against Joshua is the biggest fight in world boxing, and stylistically, it is the most exciting matchup you could possibly make in boxing.
Anthony, what are your thoughts on that?
What, that I want to fight Wilder?
Yeah, you said before no preference. Would you rather see Wilder for that reason, stylistically?
Yeah, no problem. I fight all of them, one at a time. Wilder next, no problem. So yeah, I look forward to both of them fighting. Good luck to Wilder. And once he wins, the opportunity is there. But as Eddie said, hopefully we can get that deal signed and sealed before December, so I can start planning my future.
So you prefer Wilder?
I said I'm not first.
AJ Fury said tonight that you'll now never fight him and been very uncomplimentary of you. Are you not interested in a fight with him at all?
Yeah, I'll fight Fury if he's ready, but as he said, he's not. So good luck to him with his fight with Wilder, and if he changes his mind in the future, he knows where we are.
AJ, can you talk a little bit about what adaptations you made and how you kind of turned it around? It looked like you got your timing, you maybe got warmed up, and also I'd like to ask Coach that after you answer, if you don't mind.
What, from round one to when it finished?
You really seem to pick it up. I'm wondering what technical adaptations maybe you made.
It's got to take your time. It's all about instinct, what life is. We tend to lose it as you get older because we listen to the crowd, we listen to opinions, you're not quick enough, you're not this, you're not that. But I believed in myself. I knew when the time was right. You can see the chink in their armor fading. I know he's strong to the head, but weaker to the body. So I worked to the top, worked to the bottom, break him down both ends. And then when the opportunity came, I saw and I just took it really. Coach told me, be wise. When you wait in one position, it's like a train coming at you. If you wait in one position, it's going to hit you. But the minute you move off, it goes past. So keep your feet moving so you can avoid the straight punches coming at you. And once I started doing that, I could find my angles. But as a taller guy, work behind a good jab and then set everything up for that really. And that's what we did.
Rob, can you just talk about your opinion of the fight and how Anthony got through it after the tough start?
Yeah, I think towards the end of the first round he held his feet, and you can't do that with Povetkin. He's very good and skilled, and he'll land hooks. If you hold your feet, you haven't got time to defend it. But once Anthony punched first and then moved his feet, or just moved his feet and then punched, it was a totally different story. And listen, you're going to get hit at this level. He's very skilled Povetkin in throwing hooks at a static target. Once Anthony used his jab and he's slowed him down with the body jab and head jab, it was only a matter of time. But listen, he's a live opponent and it's good experience for Anthony. He doesn't want to be just going in and blowing people away who don't land a shot. This is heavyweight boxing and he'll learn from it. He'll defend a little bit better next time. But overall, he was punched perfect with the finish, and he learned some great lessons in there. Real good experience for him.
AJ, you said you'd in the ring that you'd got your right hand back. Can you expand on that a bit more and why you maybe lost it a bit in the previous two fights?
No, I was only playing. 22 fights with 21 knockouts. I just listened to what people wanted. They said I couldn't go 12 rounds, so instead of going in there and blitzing out Parker, I took my time and just kind of proved to the ones who said I couldn't that I can. And like with my critics, I look at them as not my enemies, but my friends, because they look for the smallest things in you to make you perfect. So I started wondering, can I go 12 rounds? So I started training on my endurance. So just because of that one fight, my 21st fight, I decided not to knock him out. Maybe they're saying, we need excitement back and all that type of stuff. So I just said, all right, cool. So I went in there with a different mindset. And that's where I found my right hand again, because that was a punch that started the end of the fight.
How good was that finish in this sort of pantheon of your finishes? How good was it?
I don't think I'm the one to judge. because it's just my job, it's just every day to me. But my coach will kind of give me his verdict, and then I look back at the feedback of the people who support me and of my critics and find out where I need to improve again.
AJ, is part of the appeal around you the fact that you've shown vulnerability but responded to adversity in many of your fights? And how much better can you get?
The appeal is losing. Who's going to beat me? That's what it comes down to. That's the appeal. Who's going to be the man to beat me? That's what people are interested in. It's a tough old game. So the appeal isn't so much about my weakness and so on. It's just who is going to expose the weakness completely. Because as I said, at heavyweight boxing, you see with the Klitschko fight, he went down, I went down, he went down. It's back and forth, but it's about the final, the end to it. So all of us have weaknesses, but it's just who's going to be the man to take your own. And that goes with, like, you know, with Mayweather, where everyone was tuning in to see he's just the man to beat him. So I think you get to a stage where it seems like it's a pantomime, that you go in there and you beat someone, it's scripted. Boxing, sometimes it's easy, but it's far from it. So sometimes you have to go in there and really earn your money, and people want to see you work. So that's what the attraction is. Who's the man to really push him? Who's going to make him work tonight? Povetkin was the person to do it. He done it for 7 rounds, but I came up on top. And then the next challenger, April 13th, people will tune in to say, they'll look at his record, who he's fought, his knockouts, is he strong enough? And if he's good enough, then they'll tune in and say, this guy's going to give AJ problems. We all want to watch it. If it was an easy opponent, no one would watch it. That's the appeal. Give Anthony the toughest of the toughest. Get King Kong, dig up the old school, and get him to fight AJ. We want to see who's going to beat him. That's the appeal in boxing. Is that, you know, that sense of superiorness. Who's the strongest man and all that type of stuff. That's what people want to tune in for. So they're looking for that person, and that's the appeal for now. So I've got to stay on top of my game.
Robert McCracken, the usual, at least to my eye. Is that something you've been working on?
Yeah, I just think he's getting more experience, and you know, he's calmer under pressure now. He got hit with a few shots in the fight, but that comes with the territory. It's World Championship boxing. But he's more mature, he's stronger, he imposes himself when he needs to. So it's a very, very difficult man to box, and he's only going to get better. And tonight will only help that. That will speed that process up in him getting better in that.
And for AJ, you know, as you continue to defend your title, are you finding the old adage that it's, you know, it's harder to actually remain champion than to win it? Is that true, do you think?
Yeah. They always say it's one thing getting there and it's another thing staying there. But that's with anything you do. You know, but credit to these guys, they've been doing it for longer than me. They've been in the game for years. So if they can do it and stay consistent, surely I can. So a lot's been done in 10 years, but there's a lot more to do.
AJ, it's not Wilder. How much would a fight with Dillian Whyte or rematch excite you at Wembley?
Yeah, it's another strong challenger. But it's not down to me, it's down to the public, I think.
The Sky Sports, we did the vote, so it was unanimous, Deontay Wilder, who they want next. So is it like a message, like no more Instagram videos from these guys? Just, you know, let's get this done.
Yeah, as I said, we've been negotiating since the TACAP fight. It takes long. But we're in the same division, the same weight. It's the same time, the same era, so we have to fight. We'd be silly not to. So just give it time and it will happen.
Hey, any idea of how many times, and AJ, how many times you're going to fight next year, and possibly would one of those times be in the United States, would like to have you over there?
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, look, April 13, we know what we're doing, but definitely plans to box not just in the United States, but also in other territories as well. So, you know, we've got a great thing here. I mean, unbelievable atmosphere today, huge numbers, and, you know, it's hard to leave Great Britain with this kind of support, but he has got plans, and we've got plans to take that legacy beyond Great Britain. And I think you'll see 2019, his first fight abroad. But 2 fights a year is, you know, I mean, he's got 7 months now to his next fight. He needs a good break.
AJ, does having a date and a venue already booked for your next fight help you plan out your year from now until then?
Prior to the fight, not really, it's pressure. But after, yeah, it's nice. And it's not going to be hard to find them at home. You know, we know the top names, we know the running order, so whoever's interested will step up. So it's a blessing to have the opportunity. Some people are out here looking for a date and ringing their promoters, and they're not getting vocals back. But we're a good team, we've worked well together, and it's a blessing to have a date set already, and I know there'll be a lively opponent ready to take the opportunity as well.
AJ, first off, congratulations on your win today.
Thank you.
Secondly, do you know what you're going to do over the next few months? What's the plans for the next few months until you start camp again in January?
Couple massages, you know, kick back. I've got to do some commercial stuff because I kind of block out my schedule. So I just focus on training. So it's basically 3 months training, 3 months work outside doing 3 months. So I'm going to do all that type of stuff. Spend time with the family and train. I live a simple life. I'm fighting now. That's what I do in my life. I'm 28. For another 10 years, stay consistent, and I'll have all the fun when I'm done.
What do you think of the atmosphere given all the rain today? Leave it out.
Yes,
We made sure it stopped before.
yeah, Eddie, I don't know how he does it. But yeah, it's good, man. It's 10-10. No better time to be involved in boxing.
Do you enjoy giving him a shout out in the ring as well?
I'm waiting for them to cheer him. I don't know why they hate him.
You'll be waiting too long. 2 more questions, guys.
Yeah, hi, coming from RTL Television from Croatia. First of all, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
If I can take this rare opportunity talking to you and ask you, are you familiar with the name Filip Hrgović?
Yeah.
Top Croatian heavyweight boxer among the 20 in the heavyweight rankings just a few days ago. How do you rate him? Do you know him and do you see him in the ring with you in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I was in Brazil and I watched him in Rio. You know, he had a good fight with Tony Yoka. Very strong. I watched him fight Prisman as well because he was on that show this evening, so I watched his fight as well. And good luck to all these heavyweights. They're very talented, very strong. They see the opportunities and what can be created if you dedicate yourself. So it's not only about talent anymore. These guys are hungry, so I'm sure he'll do well for himself. So if he's watching, good luck for your future.
Eddie, how deep do you think that heavyweight pool is, and how many fighters are there? How many opponents are there out there who could fill Wembley?
Well, he could fill Wembley against you. So, yeah, I'm not sure on the pay-per-view price, but I think that it's never been better, has it? I mean, when you look at the potential opponents for April, you know, you've obviously got Deontay Wilder, you've got Dillian White, you've got Jarrell Miller making some noise, he's got a big fight coming up, you've got Usyk wants to fight AJ in 2019 as well, and that's 4 or 5 straight off the bat. So you're not struggling for opponents. We were struggling for opponents when he first won the heavyweight world title. There wasn't a lot. Luis Ortiz is another good fight. Dominic Brazil, I mean, he's done Brazil, but you know, there's a lot of depth now in the heavyweight division. But even the guys that are losing are available to be in big fights. Not with AJ, but Parker will come back in a big fight. Povetkin will come back in a big fight. You know, you just saw Chisora beat Takan. He's going to be in a big fight. So the division's never been better, and that's all down to strength and depth.
You know, Eddie, I know this was your first event on the zone in the U.S. You have a lot committed to that. Obviously, you haven't watched the broadcast yet since you were here, but what's your general sense of how this is going?
I've heard it went very well. I mean, when you look at the team of Brian Kenny, Sugar Ray Leonard, Chris Mannix, Sergio Mora, you know, we know that the platform is not going to be built in one event, and especially an event from the UK. But what the platform has just delivered is the biggest star in world boxing, with an excellent broadcast team. Chris Mannix done a great job, Kay Adams, Elzo Grandison. I mean, these are top level people. So our first show is October the 6th in Chicago, then October 20th in Boston with Saunders Andrade, and this is going to be a 2-3 year project to become the home of boxing. But you've just witnessed the #1 star in boxing, and you've got the undisputed cruiserweight champion fighting in November as well, and a big schedule coming up. So, you know, the zone are very pleased, and the feedback that I'm getting from the US side in terms of the broadcast and the team was top draw.
Pretty excited that you got some drama in the knockout?
Yeah, absolutely. It always helps. I mean, you know, he's rarely in a disappointing fight, and obviously you had a high level heavyweight fight between 2 of the best in the world, and brilliant to see him come out on top. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.